What's up, y'all? So I know I have been away from the YouTube thing for a minute, and since summer started a couple of weeks back, I thought maybe it's time I get back to it. Do a little video here and there. So I'm about to start working on a series where we try. One second. Where we try to build an online file system. I know I have started series in the past, then I stopped in the middle, but this time I'm trying to finish it because although I don't record the rest of the series, I have finished the project before. If you check my GitHub page, so to start it, let's just go open up the command line. I already have one open up right now, and then this is the directory I usually put on my coding. So let's just create a new file, and let's call this a little bit more about the series. It's going to be a file system that is hosted on a server, so that way you can then view it, and it wouldn't have all that password protection, all that, but it wouldn't have like scripting, not scripting, hashing and stuff, but it would have password protection and session handling. So let's start by making the directory. We're gonna call this cloud file clouds. Sure. Make dar. Make dar is a command that is like it says. Mkdir is a command like it says. It's called make directory. So let's call this directory file cloud. So and then we want to cd into file cloud. So now that we have cd into file cloud, we don't want to clear it. And then what we then want to do is we want to run a couple of commands with npm. First command we want to do is we want to install Express to host the server. Then we want to use TypeScript because this will rely heavily on TypeScript. So because it's files, as a file system, we need to make sure that the files and stuff are being input correctly. We rely heavily on TypeScript, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So Express and TypeScript is what we'll rely on. Except for that, everything we will make ourselves. So let's start by saying npm I express cores. Then we want to we're installing Express. Now we will install cores. Then we are going to install .env, and then what we want to do, we want to install. This will be in the dev dependency. We want to install TypeScript, tsc, ts node dev, types express, types express. Then we want to do types node, and then types cores. Basically the import that we did for this, for like the express cores and .env, express cores.env, we want to import the TypeScript version of it, well, more like type declaration type stuff. So once that import is done, so it's saying an error. So what I would then do is I will copy and paste. I'll copy this and then delete the rest of the stuff until we are .env. So once this is installed, give it a second. I will start the video again once it's done installing. So it just finished installing. So now that it's done installing, we then want to put in this command. Let's install this. TS node. Oh, my bad. It was TS node dev, not TS node VV. So let's install this again. And then let's clear the screen. So now we want to build our tsconfig JSON file. So to do that, we would just say ts init, and then they should build it. It says target module .ds straight true is module interrupt force consist file, and then we want to add our own file stuff. 1 second, because I know I do have a file with its own custom stuff and whatnot. I'm about to pause the recording again. Give me 1 moment. Okay, so this is loaded, and the next thing we want to do is let's open up VS Code real quick. After the VS Code is open up, we want to clear the screen. So VS Code was open up in my under window. So now let's clear the screen. So we have this package JSON file. Then we have this tsconfig. We would add some other custom stuff, but for now we leave it as this. So first we want to change the target to ES 2020, right? Because we're not in 218 anymore. And then we leave this as common.js. Then we want this to ES module. We did set this to strict. Do we set the lid? We want to set the lid to oh shoot, does it have the lid in here? Lid. We want to allow JavaScript. Where is the allow JavaScript? We want to allow JavaScript. We want to check JS. And then for the lid base URL, we don't care about that. Type roots, we don't care about that. Types, allow global access, module signal resolve. We are looking for lid, so let's all comment this, and then we want to say lid as ES 2020, and then we want to put it as ES next dot async iterable, and then so we're going to use this. We want to have experimental decorators, do we? Because experimental decorators, alright, so let's put it, we want to have this, we will need to have this experiment init decorator meta, and then strict property initialization. What is it? Strict property initialization. We also need to have this as well. We will leave this as it is. So then we will need to come over to our package JSON, and we will need to change a few things. First thing we would need to change would be, first we need to say the name of the app. So like I said, we will call this file cloud. And then next we need to talk about the version. For now we will just leave it at version 0.0, so that way we can make other changes as we go. Description is online file storage system, and then the main script will be main src index.js. Yes. And then, well, it doesn't really matter since we allow JavaScript. We might not need to put the index.js, but for now we'll leave it as it is. No, forget. We're gonna put this TS, and then what else do we need to do? Next, we need to add a couple of scripts. Okay, first we'll do the scripts tag, and then in the scripts we'll just say start. For the start, we'll have node mon exec cs node src index.cs, and then we'll do trace warnings so we can trace the warnings, and then that's it for the scripts. We could have a test, but we don't really need that right now. Keywords, let's put keywords so we can fill that out later, and then we will do author, and we'll just put our name. CN, and then license, we'll put license as ICS, and then dependencies, that's already loaded. Dev dependencies already loaded. So now we just need to add a few stuff to our dev dependency. We also need to put TS node. We put TypeScript. We need to add TS node for this. Oh, my bad. We need to add TS node, my bad. TS node, and then we need to add node mon. Because if you all did not notice, right here when we call node mon, we need to install that, and then when we call TS node, we need to install that as well. So what node mon and TS node really does is that it's during runtime it turns the TypeScript files into JavaScript. So that's why we needed it. Yeah, I think this is pretty much it. This should be pretty much it. So now we can then create our, well, first let's do the npm install so the new stuff we added can be installed as well. While this is loading, let's start and create our src folder. In our src folder, we will have another folder that we will call FileSystem, and then in that, not in that, in this too, we will then have a folder that we will call index.js. Okay. On the index.ts. Okay. So now in this folder, what we need to do is drumroll please, we would need to just get Express up and running. So first we will do import reflect metadata, and then we will need to then, is there error in TS config? What's the error here? Is it done? Okay, it's done. I don't know what the error is talking about because we don't have an index. We have an index.ts. So what is it talking about? Can I write file cloud src index because it would overwrite input file. Overwrite input file. So let's look for input file real quick. Yeah, I just think it hasn't loaded it, so let's just close this up and then let's open it and let's just say code and load it again. It should work this time. Yeah, it should be working. So time is running out, so I'll just like get the app up and running, and then we can go from there. So since we want to get the app up and running, what do we need to do? First, we need to import express from express, and then we need to import, we need to import session. I forgot to install that from express. Why is my computer going so slow? Session. Then we would need to import, I know it's giving an error because we didn't install it, so let's just do that right now. npm install express session. Okay, now that that's installed, it should not give an error. Let it roll a minute. And then we need to create our app. Const app equals to express, and then in this express app we want to say app.use. So now we're going to tell it to use the session. So we will give it a session of session, and then we'll say secret equals to process env dot secret, or we'll set the secret to and then after that we will then say cookie. Now we're just setting the max age for the cookie, so max age 1000 times 60 times 60 times 24, and then once that is set, we then need to set the resave. Tell it that we need to resave the cookie if it expires, and then save on initialize, so we set it as true. And then from there, what we then need to do is then we just say then we just say app.listen, and then we tell it where we want to list it. We'll give it a port ID, port of, let's say 4000, my bad, 4000, and then host IP of, and then since that's listening, we then want to set a app.get.slash request handler blah 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 response. We want to send a response value as send hello world. So now to read that this is working properly, we will then say clear screen npm run start. Remember the start script we had. Clear npm run start. Okay, so if this is working properly, I thought we installed that. Let's go to package.json. See, we did install it. Oh, we have to do this too. The type of the express stuff we did. That can be easily fixed. We can just do and then clear, and then we'll do npm run start. Are you kidding me? If I run this without reflect meta there, because last time I tried it gave me an error, so let me see again. So let's say clear npm run start. hopefully if everything works properly, it should give me a oh, I didn't give it a callback, so it wouldn't give me that. So let me type in the host. So I'll just put localhost instead of I'll do localhost, and then I'll put the port 4000. And let me just bring it over this window. As you can see, this localhost 4000 is properly running. So let's close this real quick. And then right here, we're just going to add a simple callback, because so that way we can see that it's correct, it's appropriately running. Console running on ports, running on local host 4000. And then if we were to, since this automatically reloads, it should say running on port 4000. So if we were to load that page up again, we can see localhost, and then we give the 4000 ports. Port 4000. So that's the end of this video, guys. I know it's a little bit long just to run an Express server, but so now that we have got this part down, it's pretty clean for now. Then we will later, in later videos, we then try to work on the file system itself. So I will see you guys later. Peace out.